Okay, so we got rid of some of the extra columns, in fact most of them, that are just going to clutter up our spreadsheet and don't really help us to get where we're going. And I wanted to point out one error I realized I made just now, which was I deleted that use code column thinking that there would be another column in there that showed us what the property type was, and there wasn't, so we might have wanted to leave that in. But we're going to move on because I'm going to show you another way to further refine this down. Let's see how many records we have right now. We have 15,077 records. That's what we received from the county. So let's look at what we can eliminate a lot of these by. First thing I want to do is go to this bankruptcy column that we were talking about a little earlier. Okay, if there's a 1 in that column, that means somebody's been bankrupt along the way, and for all we know, they could be out of bankruptcy now. But I like to just delete those because there are so many on this list. Why mess with something like that? So one of the most basic functions in Excel that you need to have a handle on to filter your lists is sorting. It's actually quite simple. We want to sort this column X by, we want to sort the entire spreadsheet by column X so that we can get all the ones in one spot and delete them. So we're going to highlight the whole spreadsheet. We're going to go to Data, Sort, and we're going to sort by exists bankruptcy right here. That was the column name that we wanted to sort by. And we're going to do it descending, so all the ones are at the top. Okay, so it just sorted it. All the ones are together now, meaning that the person had a bankruptcy issue, and I'm just going to delete all those. I don't want to mess with them. So I'm going to highlight the first column, scroll down until those ones go away and they turn into zeros. Okay, so we just got rid of 147 people that had bankruptcy issues, and I right click and hit delete. And now we don't need this column anymore, so I'm going to get rid of it. Now, is all paid? That's another interesting one. If there's a 1 there, that means that the person has paid up. And as I said, oftentimes the delinquent roll will still contain properties that are paid until another year goes by. Okay, they stay on the delinquent roll, but they have an indicator that they've been paid. So we obviously want to get rid of those if they've been paid. So let's highlight the whole spreadsheet again and sort by is all paid. Okay, so now you can see all the ones that have a number 1 for is all paid, they're paid and we want to get rid of them. So we do the same thing. We highlight the row and we scroll down until there's no longer any 1s until they turn to zeros. So we're eliminating thousands of properties now in just a few seconds. Wow, look at all those properties that we're getting rid of that have paid. Okay. We're going to hit right click and delete. Let's see how many records we have now left. We have about 10,043 records left. So in 4 minutes, we just eliminated 5,000 records. So now this remaining list that we have indicates everybody still owes taxes. And you can see in this tax year column, some people owe quite a few years. Some people are just delinquent by a few years or even 1 year. Why don't we first get this list down to the assessed value range that we're interested in? If our strategy is to try to buy unwanted properties for a few $100s or a couple $1,000s, we're probably not going to be able to do that with properties that are assessed at more than 100,000, let's say. So let's say to just get in the kind of property value range that we want, that we're going to want properties that are worth between $20,000 and $100,000. Now, if you're pursuing other strategies like Coach Mitch's option, or you're willing to get mortgages against really expensive properties that you can still get a good deal on, then maybe your criteria will be different. But if I'm just trying to get cheap deeds to properties, I'm going to be looking at about $20,000 to $100,000 in assessed value. So right here in column I is the total assessed value. Let's sort by column I by highlighting the whole spreadsheet, data, sort, build net value. There it is. So now it's sorted by the value, and I can easily eliminate all these rows until I get down to $100,000. Okay, so there is another 5,500 properties that are gone in 2 minutes. And I don't want to be pursuing junk properties that are little slices of land or other useless properties. So I also want to go down to the bottom here. I want to get rid of everything that's under 20,000. And again, depending on where you're working, you can set your own parameters for what value range you want to work in. And you might want to work the whole thing. But for the purpose of this example, I'm going to get rid of all these properties that are worth less than $20,000. So now we're left with 3,316 properties, and according to my stopwatch, that whole process took us another 3 minutes to go from 10,000 to 3,300. Okay, so with a list of 3,300, that is a pretty manageable amount if you have done all these filters that we talked about. One thing I want you to notice, though, look over here at the owners. Many times an owner owns several properties. So let's sort that column by owner. I should say let's sort the whole spreadsheet by owner. And you'll see as you go down, there are a lot of owners on here that own 10 properties, or look at this guy, Winton Homes owns probably 20. Wells Fargo Bank took back a lot of properties. I don't want to send 20 letters out to the same guy, even though he's got 20 different properties. I want to cut those down, and I have a special macro written that is a sort of like an automated process where it will take out all of the duplicate records where the same owner owns many properties, and that way we'll just send one letter to each owner. And if he has more than one property, we can deal with that when we talk to him on the phone. So in a second, I'll show you how that macro works.